Danyo, wada dang dang, and go danyo, wada dang dang. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we will criticize on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonamo. And today we have a number of issues we want to look at, and I need you to come along so we would go straight up into the voices of the people. Remember, this is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Now, the very first story we want to look at today is this. And please, I need you to come along so we will look at it very, very attentively. Now, I am reading this from Peace FM Online. And it says, "We didn't promise a perfect Ghana," says Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. "We didn't promise a better Ghana. I beg your pardon, a perfect Ghana. We didn't promise a perfect Ghana," says Kojo Oppong Nkrumah. And I read it. Now, the Minister of Information, Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, has clarified that the Akufo-Addo government did not pledge to create a perfect Ghana for its citizens. Now, the Ofuasi Ayerebi MP emphasized that the government made some promises to change the fortunes of Ghanaians, but did not promise to bring about perfection, stating emphatically that perfection was not cited in the New Patriotic Party's manifesto. He argued that despite the prevailing challenges, the ruling government has made significant progress in stabilizing the economy compared to the Mahama administration. In an interview on City TV on Tuesday, February 13, Mr. Oppong Nkrumah acknowledged that though the government has made significant progress, a lot of Ghanaians are still faced with difficulties. "We are not in a perfect place, but we have made significant progress from where we started in January 2017. We have also made significant progress on the promises and commitments that we made. And we have made significant progress as compared to our peers, the NDC." Now, my brother, my sister, this is the epitome of arrogance and mediocrity. Oppong Nkrumah's utterances, an epitome of arrogance, mediocrity, my brother, my sister, and above all, is an insult to the people of Ghana. My brother, my sister, at the time that you were campaigning, I wish you had told Ghanaians that you were not promising Ghanaians a perfect Ghana. And we will see how many people would have voted for you. My brother, my sister, now it hurts me so much when politicians talk like this. When they are satisfied, they lose their brains. When politicians enjoy the taxpayers' money, and above all, when they go into dubiousness, a lot of them talk the way Oppong Nkrumah is talking today. It's sheer arrogance and mediocrity. It's a big insult to the people of this nation. The Nana Akufo-Addo regime did not get anywhere near perfection. The Nana Akufo-Addo government rather retarded the growth of this nation and threw us into the deepest echelons of begging and corruption. I am so disappointed that a silent Oppong Nkrumah will all of a sudden emerge with this arrogance and mediocrity. My brother, you have failed Be bold enough to tell the people that you have failed. You have failed abysmally. Instead of bowing down your heads in shame and apologizing to the people of this country for hoodwinking us into mediocrity and nothingness with dirty promises, you are here talking arrogant. You are here talking mediocrity. You are here insulting our sensibilities. Now, the Nana Akufo-Addo government is the worst performing government this nation has ever had. In fact, it has performed more abysmally than even coup d'etat regimes. Even those guys, Afifa, Achampon, and the rest of them who came in through the barrel of the gun have performed far better than Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia combined. It's the worst ATS we are seeing. And as much as possible, COVID-19 is far better than the Nana Akufo-Addo regime. In fact, if you ask me to choose between COVID-19, if you ask me to choose between Ebola, if you ask me to choose between HIV/AIDS and the Nana Akufo-Addo regime, I will go with speed geometrically to pick up COVID-19. My brother, chances are that with COVID-19, at least I would recover. But there are no chances in the Nana Akufo-Addo regime. It's a bleak, doomified government. My brother, my sister, it is doomsday. That's why I told you, if you make a mistake and vote Bawumia as president of this nation, then I would understand that I am in the wrong nation. I would understand now that you are numb to suffering and pain. I would not be in this environment. But somebody would have thought, who are you at all? Yes, I am the one talking to you on radio. There are 1 trillion people who would have had this privilege to speak to you on radio. But the finger of the Almighty touched me and brought me to sit here and speak. So I see myself as so privileged to live another few years to be able to speak on radio, speaking truth to power, never under the Bawumia regime. I have seen enough of the arrogance, enough of the mediocrity. I have seen enough of the nonchalance. I have seen enough of the nonsense. I have witnessed enough of the suicide mission. I am not ready for an extra time of a Bawumia Akufo-Addo regime. My brother, my sister, now let us go back to Oppong Nkrumah. Oppong Nkrumah has been in my position before, a radio presenter, talking about some of the ills of the society on radio. He was one of those who complained about the terrible economic situations in this country. In fact, when aspiring presidential candidates were even brought together to debate and to tell us exactly what they intended to do with the presidency, Oppong Nkrumah was the one who was the anchor of that sterling program. Little did we know that he was also ready to sell us all out. The same things that we fought against, today people like Oppong Nkrumah are defending those things, the rot and the corruption and the mediocrity. It's like the Blasters going to play and they are kicked out of the first leg of the whole competition. And they come home and tell us, oh, but we didn't promise you that we're bringing the cup. What an insult. If you were told us right from the beginning that you were not going to bring the cup, we would have decided to make you sit down so we would save our time and money. It's an insult to the people of Ghana. And arrogant guys like Oppong Nkrumah, we all have to be careful. They are with you when you all are suffering. But the moment they get a certain privilege to step a little higher. They look down on you and they don't care whether you die or suffocate. I am so ashamed of this remark. We did not promise you a perfect Ghana. What arrogance and foolishness. We all know perfection is only with God. We all know perfection is only with God. So when you come to tell us that you have not promised us perfection, I want to believe that you are insulting our sensibilities. How dare you? The more I listen to this Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government, people talking trash like this, the more I want to employ Zoom Lion to carry all of them back into the garbage dump. It's sad. Oppong Nkrumah, so soon? We did not promise you a perfect Ghana. How dare you? Even the almighty America is not a perfect environment. The almighty China is not a perfect environment. My brother, my sister, there is no perfection until it is heavenly. In other words, divine. In other words, godly. For you to tell us this is rubbing pepper in our eyes. I think the people of Ghana deserve an apology from this mediocre-minded, arrogant MP. I'm so ashamed. I know Oppong Nkrumah. We used to be together at multimedia. We interacted several times and for several years. I know him at least for the period that we were at multimedia. But nobody is bigger than the truth. Ghana first. We will not sit down for a few people to derail the process of this nation by virtue of the fact that they have a certain privilege. No, sir. I have children. He has children. He doesn't feed my children. I don't feed his children. It's Ghana that feeds all of us. Whoever punctures or bores a hole in Ghana and makes the Ghanaian ship sink like the Titanic is my enemy. Oppong Nkrumah, this is disgraceful. Please apologize to the good people of this nation. Next thing I would like to look at, and I would like to look at it with speed. And this one is coming from Ghana Web, and it says, breaking, Akufo-Addo sacks Oforiatta reshuffles government. And I read, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has officially reshuffled some of his ministerial appointees following reports of an imminent massive shake-up in the government. Now the president, according to a statement issued by the presidency, has relieved 13 central and local government appointees of their duties. Some of the ministers who have lost their jobs include the Minister for Finance, Ken Oforiatta, and the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amwakwata. The other ministers who have been sacked are the Minister for Health, Kweku Ajimaimenu, and the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation, Dr. Kweku Efriye. In all, the president relieved 13 ministers and 10 deputy ministers of their duties, some of which he reassigned. And there's a whole big list of these people. Now, my brother, my sister, now the new Minister of Information, as you can see, is Miss Fatimatu Abubakar. The new Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister is Honorable Dakua Newman. And then, my brother, my sister, Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Lydia Sairam Alasan, and we all know her history. Remember when the people in Parliament shamelessly called her the bloody widow? My God, what a thing. What a shame. I'm glad, my brother, my sister, that at least she resisted all the attempts to pull her down. Let me go to Ken Oforiatta. You see, This is what is referred to as injury time massage. Injury time massage. This president is the most arrogant. My brother, my sister. But above all, let me give him some credit. That better late than never. Look, he has waited until the ship has sunk all the way through to the hull of the ship. And he has decided to throw in the lifeline. My brother, my sister, the lifeline has been thrown out after everybody has drowned. What is the importance? You know, when a ship is sinking, they give you the life jacket. There's a lifeline that is thrown out to you to hold on to that thin whisker of life. Mr. President has misread the drowning of the ship and arrogantly sat watching as the pilot, seeing the sinking of the ship. And today, everybody is drowned. That is when he is pulling out life jackets. For who to wear? Dead people to wear the mortuary or where? Now, when you are surrounded by fools, this time I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading the Bible. And go to the book of Proverbs. When a king is surrounded by fools, he takes all the blame for the foolish decisions he takes. Hallelujah. Now let's come to our president. A president who is surrounded by people who are not smart in their heads would always make the president an icon of mockery. Should I say it again? A president who is surrounded by idiots would always be an icon of mockery. That is where we find ourselves right now. Yesterday, I watched a documentary from Kenya and I puked. I became red like red ketchup. They were looking at Nana Akufo-Addo and how Nana Akufo-Addo has become a traitor in African politics and Pan-Africanism. I won't go into that documentary. But my brother, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has destroyed the nation already. The Ghana city and the economy are only doing well in the textbooks. In reality, the economy has sunk and drowned beyond resurrection like the Titanic. Today, my brother, my sister, even in Zimbabwe, where I am an ambassador of tourism, ordained and institutionalized by the great, right, honorable, His Excellency, Robert Mugabe. Even when they were going through their crisis, the price of toilet paper, aka tea-roll, did not double. In Ghana, it's more than doubled. Toilet paper. The price of food is rising meteorically. Should I take it again? Prices of food rising meteorically, geometrically, inundating the very essence of our economic well-being. I am shocked to the skeleton. Mr. President, what do you think you have done? You have sacked Ajimai Menu. You should have sacked him 7 trillion years ago. You sat down and watched him mess up with our COVID-19 vaccines. This was the guy who went all the way to bring in people who were on the watch list of the FBI and the CIA for terrorism. These were the people he found to bring in vaccines. My brother, my sister, it took a Norwegian journalist to blow the whistle and say, what is happening to Ghana? They are becoming a mockery of a nation. They have gone to ask for COVID-19 vaccines, Sputnik V, from terrorists. Before Ghanaians opened their eyes, he was invited to parliament and he told lies like a kindergarten braggart. Nana Akufo-Addo followed him all the way to his region, cracking jokes like an untrained comedian. Today, you say you are sacking him. After COVID-19 is gone and you are still taking taxes for COVID-19. Oh, what the mockery. My brother, if I want to go through the list, we will not end it. Who else have they sacked? My brother, my sister. Sacked us in sacking them. Go home and never return. My brother, my sister. Which other minister? Look at Ajima Menu. He's gone. The Minister of Environment, Technology and Information, Mr. Kweku Afriye, is also gone. It's very sad, my brother. Now I hear Amin Anta is going to be the new finance minister. My brother, my sister, whoever is coming in as the new finance minister, my brother, my sister, we are watching. Amin Anta, I hear, is the Minister of State. Who is the new Minister of Finance? And would it ever happen? Would it change anything? The biggest reshuffle I was looking for was the reshuffling of Bawumia. This reshuffling would only make sense to me if Bawumia was reshuffled. The biggest problem of Ghana, my brother, my sister, presently as we sit, is not our economy anymore. It's not how fast we are dying. The biggest canker is Bawumia. As for Nana Akufo-Addo, he's arrogantly on his way out. Bawumia still has the effrontery to insult us and tell us that Nana Akufo-Addo was the one who gave us all the trouble and that he was only a driver's mate. I leave it here. To God be the glory. Last thing I want to look at before I leave is this one coming in from Graphic Online, the national communicator. And it says, restrict food imports to protect farmers. And this is Dr. Akoto urging Parliament. And I read, now the immediate past Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu-Efriye Akoto, has urged Parliament to, as a matter of urgency, prioritize the protection of the local farmers and industries in their agenda by restricting food imports into the country. I leave it here. I thought Dr. Owusu-Efriye Akoto, before he left the ministry, told us that they had cut down drastically the importation of food into our country. Why did the new agric minister go back to start importing geometrically and drastically? I want to know. Why they lying to us and cutting down the imports only in the textbooks? Or they truly did it? My brother, my sister, prices of food are running so high. We live in Ghana, yet we don't eat Ghanaian food anymore. Yes, we eat Ghanaian cooking, but we don't eat Ghanaian food. Somebody won't know the difference. You are eating a Ghanaian cooking, but you are not eating Ghanaian food. My brother, your tomatoes are coming from Burkina Faso. Your gari is coming from China. Hey, your cocoa is even coming from Nigeria and the Ivory Coast, sometimes even from China. Oh, what a people. Even your toothpick is coming from China. The drawers you wear coming from Afghanistan. My brother, the oil you use is coming from Peru. In fact, It is so sad. It might sound very comic, but it is true. The condoms you use are coming from Thailand and China. Chinese people who have little fingerlings. You are forcing your big things into their little condoms. It's sad. You are importing plantains into the country. As for rice, forget it. The Chinese have become the birthright for rice in our country. You are eating a Ghanaian cooking and not Ghanaian food. My brother, my sister, it is sad. Now the minister says stop importing. When he was in power, he said food was so cheap. Everything was cheap. But as it stands right now, it doesn't look like it's true. Well, my name is Black Rasta, and the modeling newscaster is in the house. The